Now, some neat applications related to refractive index. So, what are those neat applications here? If a ray of light travels a distance x in the time t in a medium of refractive index mu, then how much time taken to travel the distance x in the given medium here? That time taken is nothing but t. How to write the refractive index here? Already we know that what is the expression for refractive index? Mu is equal to c by v. It is absolute refractive index of the medium. And speed can be defined as, how to define the speed of the light in the given medium? Distance traveled divided by time taken. What is the distance traveled in the given medium? The distance traveled in the given medium is x. And what is the time taken? T. So that is c by v, x by t. Then we can write it is c into t by x. So what is the expression for refractive index? When the ray of light travels a distance x in the given time t in a medium of refractive index mu, that is mu is equal to ct by x. Then next, if x1 and x2 are the distances travelled by light in two media. In first medium, what is the distance travelled? x1, and in the second medium, what is the distance travelled? x2. Of absolute refractive indices mu1 and mu2. mu1 is the refractive index of first medium, and mu2 is the refractive index of second medium. In the medium of refractive index mu1, distance travelled by the light is x1. In the medium of refractive index of mu2, what is the distance travelled by the light here? That is x2. Then how to write the refractive? Then how to write the relation between them? Refractive indices and distances in the given time. See here, already we know that. So mu1 by or mu2 by mu1 is equal to v1 by v, because refractive index and speed both are inversely related. We can write mu1 into v1 is equal to mu2 into v2. So what is the speed of the light in first medium? That is v1. Speed of the light in the second medium, v2. Again by the definition of speed. What is the definition of speed? Distance travelled divided by time taken. What is the distance travelled in first medium? That is x1. What is the time taken? That is t. That is mu1 x1 by t is equal to. So what is the distance travelled in second medium? Distance travelled in second medium is x2. The same time taken, that is again t. That is mu2 into x2 by t. So what get cancelled? T get cancelled. Then what is the expression here? Mu1 into x1 is equal to mu2 into x2. Okay. So what is the expression here? The expression is mu1 into x1 is equal to mu2 into x2. So it is the relation between refractive indices and the distances travelled by the light in the two media. Next, if a ray of light takes the t1 and t2 times in a two media of absolute refractive indices mu1 and mu2. So absolute refractive index of the first medium is mu1 and absolute refractive index of second medium is mu2. So what is the time taken by the light to travel the distance here? That is t1 in the first medium. Then what is the time taken by the light to travel the distance in the second medium? That is t2. So distance travelled is same. Distance travelled is same. Then how to write the relation? Again by using same. mu1 into v1 is equal to mu2 into v2. So again by definition. So what is v1 here? v1 is the speed of light in first medium. What is v2 here? The speed of the light in second medium. So v1 can be written as distance travelled divided by time taken. So how much time taken to travel the light in the first medium? That is t1. And how much time taken to travel the distance in second medium? That is t2. But the distances travelled in the both media is same. That is mu1 x by t1 is equal to mu2 x by t2. So what get cancelled here? X get cancelled. I will take t2 to the left hand side, t1 to the right hand side. It is mu1 into t2 is equal to mu2 into t1. So it is the relation between refractive indices and time. So when we have to use this formula, refractive index is given and times given. When the light travels same distance in the both media. But when we have to use this formula here, when the refractive index is given and distance is traveled by the light given, so time given is same. Okay. Next, when we are going to use this formula here, speed of light in vacuum given and distance traveled by the light given and time taken by the light to travel the distance x is given. So these are the some neat applications related to refractive index. Angle of deviation. What is angle of deviation here? Now let us consider it is an interface between two transparent media. When a ray of light traveling from rarer medium to denser medium. Okay. At the point of incidence, we are going to draw the normal. It is a normal. So, from which medium to which medium light is traveling here? It is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium. Denser medium is that the medium which having the high refractive index. In this medium, the speed of light decreases. What is rarer medium? It is a medium which having the lower refractive index. In this medium, the speed of light increases. So, the light traveling from which medium to which medium? Rarer to denser. In the denser medium, the speed of light decreases. As the speed of light decreases, the refracted ray bends towards the normal. So, when the light traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, in the denser medium, the refracted ray bends towards the normal because of decreasing speed of light. So, supposed to be both media are same, then the incident ray should be passed straight without any deviation or without any refraction. So, the angle between this extended incident ray and refracted ray is called angle of deviation. Okay. Then the angle between refracted ray and normal is called angle of refraction, and the angle between incident ray and normal is called angle of incidence. But what is the angle between extended incident ray and refracted ray? That is called angle of deviation. Then what is angle of deviation here? It is the angle between extended incident ray and refracted ray. Then what it tells? So the angle of deviation tells that how much the refracted ray bends from its incident path. Means by what angle the incident light bends from its incident path. That is called angle of deviation. But when the light traveling from rarer to denser medium, in the denser medium the speed of light decreases, then the light bends towards the normal. In case of in case of light traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, the angle of incidence is always greater than angle of refraction. Then what is the expression for angle of deviation? So expression for angle of deviation. Angle of deviation is D is equal to I minus of R. So why it is I minus of R here? When the light traveling from rarer medium to denser medium, the angle of incidence is greater than angle of refraction. Means angle of refraction is less than angle of incidence. So that is why we are going to find the angle of deviation by I minus R, because I is greater than R. So when we have to use this formula, when the light traveling from rarer to denser. Supposed to be the light traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. It is a denser medium. Means which is first medium here? Denser medium is the first medium. So which medium having the incident ray? Denser medium having the incident ray, because denser medium is the first medium. The light traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. It is normal. Then the refracted ray bends away from the normal. Why the refracted ray bends away from the normal here? When the light traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, in the rarer medium the speed of light increases because of its low refractive index and low optical density. So if the medium having low refractive index or low optical intensity, in that medium the speed of light increases. So it is angle of refraction R and it is angle of incidence R. Supposed to be both the media are same, the incident ray should be passed straight without any deviation. Then what is the expression for angle of deviation here? This is angle of deviation, that is a d. Then what is angle of deviation? By the definition, angle of deviation is that it is the angle between extended incident ray and refracted ray. Okay, but from which medium to which medium light traveling here? The light traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. The angle of deviation is given by R minus I. Why? Because here, so when the light traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, the angle of refraction is greater than angle of incidence, because the refracted ray bends away from the normal. Hence, the angle of refraction is greater than angle of incidence. That is why we are going to write R minus of I. Here R is greater than I, but here R is less than R. So this is when the light traveling from rarer to denser. This is when the light traveling from denser to rarer. Okay. This is about deviation. Why we are going to discuss about this deviation? We are going to use this deviation in lateral shift. Okay. So what are the deviation tells here? Deviation tells that from its incident path, the light how much bends. Okay, that is given by angle of deviation. So next we are going to discuss about lateral shift. So let us know what do you mean by lateral shift. Now let us consider there is a rectangular glass slab. And this rectangular glass slab is surrounded by air medium. Okay. So when the light incident on the first surface of the slab here, so here is a transparent medium, glass is also transparent medium. So the light is incident on the first refracting surface of the glass slab. There are two refracting surfaces we are going to take, AB and CD. These two are the refracting surfaces. Then at the point of incidence, as usual we are going to draw the normal. What is normal? So normal is that it is a perpendicular line drawn to the refracting surface at the point of incidence. The angle between the normal line and incident ray is called angle of incidence. So the light traveling from which medium to which medium? Rarer medium to denser medium. Which is rarer here? Here is the rarer. And which is denser here? Glass is the denser medium. Because glass having the higher refractive index than the air. What is the refractive index of glass? That is 3 by 2. Then what is the refractive index of air? That is 1. So 3 by 2 is greater than 1. Means light traveling from rarer medium to denser medium. In the denser medium, the refracted ray bends towards the normal. Why it bends towards the normal? Because of decrease in speed of light. Because of decrease in speed of light. So this refracted ray is incident ray for the second refracting surface. It is second refracting surface. So whenever this ray, I will take PQ is incident ray here and QR is refracted ray for the first surface AB. And now QR is the incident ray for the second surface, that is DC. Then here it is angle of refraction R, it is angle of incidence, that is also R, because alternate angles. So with what angle the light refracted, with that angle only the light incident on the second refracting surface. Then and the light traveling from, this QR is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. When the light traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, the refracted ray bends away from the normal. The refracted ray bends away from the normal. Then the angle between this emergent ray and the normal is called angle of emergence. Suppose to be there is no glass lamp. The incident ray will be passed straight without any deviation. If there is no glass lamp, the incident ray will be passed straight without any deviation. So the perpendicular distance between extended incident ray and emergent ray is called lateral shift. Okay, what is lateral shift here? It is the perpendicular distance between, I will take lateral shift as x here. It is the perpendicular distance between extended incident ray and emergent ray is called lateral shift. Then what lateral shift tells here? Lateral shift tells that by what distance the incident ray bends from its initial path. Because of refraction of light, and by what angle this incident ray bends from its initial path, that is angle of deviation. So angle of deviation, so and it is a lateral shift. What is lateral shift here? By what distance the incident ray bends from its initial path. Okay, that is called lateral shift. Then how to define the lateral shift here? It is the perpendicular distance between, or lateral shift is the perpendicular distance between extended incident ray and emergent ray in case of rectangular glass lamp. So what do you mean by lateral shift here? Lateral shift is that it is the perpendicular distance between extended incident ray and emergent ray. So it tells that by what distance the incident ray bends from its initial path. Okay, so that is given by lateral shift. Then what is the expression for lateral shift here? Means formula. Expression for lateral shift. So actually there is no derivation for this one. There is a direct formula. What is that direct formula here? So lateral shift is given by x is equal to t into sine of I minus r. What do you mean by I minus r here? I minus r is nothing but angle of deviation. So due to the angle of deviation there is a lateral shift. Means due to the bending of light towards the normal there is an angle of deviation. Due to this angle of deviation, there is a lateral shift divided by cos r. What is T here? T is nothing but it is the thickness of the glass lamp. Where T is the thickness of the glass lamp. Where T is the thickness of the slab. And what is I minus r? I minus r is the angle of deviation. And what is r here? R is the angle of refraction. R is the angle of refraction for first surface, but angle of incidence for second surface. See here, this R is the angle of refraction for first surface, and this R is the angle of incidence for second surface. So this is the expression for lateral shift, and lateral shift is denoted by x. Otherwise you can denote this one by ls. ls means here lateral shift. Special cases related to lateral shift. So lateral shift is maximum when, and lateral shift is minimum when. So lateral shift is maximum for grazing incidence. What do you mean by grazing incidence here? So the incident perpendicular to the normal. Grazing incidence. So what is grazing incidence? Grazing incidence here, the incident ray is perpendicular to the normal. See here, it is a rectangular glass slab. Now, so the incident ray, this is a normal one. The incident ray grazes along the surface. Which surface? Refracting surface. This is the incident ray. Then now, what is the angle between incident ray and normal here? The angle between incident ray and normal is 90 degree. So the angle of incidence is 90 degree. Then the ray undergo refraction. After refraction, the refracted ray is incident ray for the second surface. Then this incident ray after refraction that grazes along the second refracting surface. Then now it is a extended incident ray and it is an emergent ray. What is the angle between what is the distance between emergent ray and incident ray? That is equal to thickness of the slab. And what is the distance between extended incident ray and emergent ray? That is called lateral shift. Now here lateral shift is equal to thickness of the slab, then lateral shift becomes maximum. Okay, so what is angle of incidence here? 90 degree. And what is angle of refraction? That is R. It is also R, but this angle of refraction is nothing but here angle of incidence for the second surface, and this angle of incidence is equal to critical angle. We will study about this critical angle in next topic, that is total internal reflection. If the light incidents with the critical angle, if the light is incident with the critical angle, the refracted ray grazes along the surface. Then now lateral shift is maximum for which incidence here? Grazing incidence. What do you mean by grazing incidence here? The incident ray is perpendicular to the normal. So we know that what is the formula here? That means I is how much? 90 degree. That is I is 90 degree. Lateral shift formula is T into sine of I minus R. I is how much? 90. 90 degree minus of R divided by cos R. What is sine of 90 minus theta? Sine of 90 minus theta is cos theta. Then cos theta means here it is cos R. T into cos R. T into cos R divided by cos R. Then cos R get cancelled. That is equal to T. Means the lateral shift becomes maximum. So for what angle of incidence the lateral shift becomes maximum? For the angle of incidence 90 degree. Next one, second case. Lateral shift is minimum for normal incidence. Minimum for normal incidence. See, if the light is incident along the normal, what is the angle of incidence? 0. So what is angle of incidence here? Angle of incidence is the angle between the incident ray and normal. If the incident ray and normal both are in the same direction, what is the angle? That is 0. If the angle of incidence is 0, angle of refraction is also 0 by the Snell's law. What is Snell's law? N is equal to sin I by sin R. If the angle of incidence is 0, sin 0 is 0, then divided by sin R, then sin R equal to 0 by n. 0 by n is again it is 0. Then for what angle? The sin value is 0, for the angle 0. Okay, means angle of refraction is also 0. If the angle of incidence is 0, then angle of refraction is also 0. Means for the normal incidence, the lateral shift becomes minimum. That is, I is equal to 0 degree. Means if the light incident along the normal, there is no lateral shift. If I is equal to 0, then R is also 0. Means angle of refraction is also 0. Then by the definition, by the formula, x is equal to t into sin of 0 minus 0, that is 0, divided by cos 0. Then t into sin of 0 is 0. Then cos 0 is 1. Then t into 0, 0 by 1, that is again 0. Then it is a minimum. So, for which incidence the lateral shift is minimum? The lateral shift is minimum for normal incidence, and the lateral shift is maximum for grazing incidence. Now, application related to lateral shift. Lateral shift in terms of angle of incidence and refractive index. Already we know that what is the expression for lateral shift? X is equal to t into sin of I minus R divided by cos R. So we are going to derive the relation between angle of incidence and refractive index. It is not for your theory, it is for your application. So now, sin of A minus B form it is T outside. So sin of A means sin of I into cos B. Cos B means cos R minus cos I into sin R. So by using sin of A minus B formula, sin of A minus B formula is sin A into cos B minus cos A into sin B divided by cos R divided by cos R. Then how to derive the relation now? So here I will take t outside, then multiplying cos R means dividing cos R each term. So that is sin I into cos R by cos R, that is sin I minus of cos I into sin R divided by cos R. So now we are going to express cos R. How to write the cos R here? Cos R can be written as is equal to t into sin I minus of cos I into sin R divided by cos R can be written as 1 minus of sin square R. 1 minus of sin square R, because we know that sin square R plus cos square R is equal to 1. But what we require now? Cos R. Cos R means here cos square R is equal to 1 minus of sin square R. Then cos R is equal to square root of 1 minus sin square R. So I use this one here directly. Then what about sin R? Sin R is nothing but sin I by n by using Snell's law. What is Snell's law here? N is equal to sin I by sin R. Your first medium is here, that is why refractive index of n1 means n1 is the refractive index of first medium. First medium is n means n1 is 1. That is why it is n by 1. So n is equal to sin I by sin R. Then sin R is equal to sin I by n. So I will put here. What about sin R? T into sin I minus of cos I. What is sin r? Sin r is sin I by n whole divided by 1 minus of sin square I divided by n square. Sin square I divided by n square. Next, so because sin r is nothing but sin I by n using Snell's law. Then now take n square as LCM. T into sin I, T into sin I minus of cos I into sin I divided by n whole divided by, then LCM, n square as LCM means here it is n square minus of sin square I divided by the square root of n square becomes n divided by n. So here this n get cancelled. 1 by n get cancelled. What left now? That is t into sin I minus of cos I into sin I, cos I into sin I divided by square root of n square minus sin square I. So what is common here? Common is sin I is common. Then x is equal to t into sin I. I means here angle of incidence. So here sin I taken as a common means it is 1. 1 minus of cos I divided by square root of n square minus sin square I. So this is the relation between the lateral shift, angle of incidence and refractive index of the medium. So here the refractive index of which medium here? In case of given lateral shift, that is glass medium. Okay, this is about relation between lateral shift, angle of incidence and refractive index. Already you know that what is T? T is the thickness of the slab. So just remember this formula. Don't go through this because this derivation is not for your theory exam. Okay, just go through this formula.